my fellow speakers. This is Brian, the speaker for the dead. I come before you tonight to speak the death of an amazing actor, a credit to his profession and to probably anybody who knew this man and knew of his work. I am, of course, speaking of the late, great Max von Sydow. He passed away yesterday from unknown causes, and I wanted to take this opportunity to speak his death. And what that means is that I want to speak what I knew of him and the effect that he had on my life. Max von Sydow was born Karl Adolf von Sydow. You can see why he might wanted to have changed that name. Some of us get those names from our parents that, we didn't really want. He obviously changed that. So we knew him as Max von Sydow. He was born in Sweden on April 10th, 1929. He was 90 years old when he passed away. For me, when I think of Max von Sydow, he was one of those actors that wasn't usually the lead character in the movies that he was in, but he was the kind of actor that, were he not there, the film would have suffered and probably failed. He always brought such skill and acumen to the roles that he played, the parts that he was, no matter how big or no matter how small, what he brought was unbelievably great. He had that special something, and we all know those actors that are like that although they very rarely ever get top billing, every time you see them, you think, this is going to be a good movie, because they're in it, and they don't do crappy things. Even in a movie that would not have been great, they make it great by their presence. The movies, the ones that I remember him most for, I wanted to share with you a list that I compiled, and these are just the ones that I remember. He played Jesus in The Greatest Story Ever Told, King Osric in Conan the Barbarian, Blofeld in James Bond, Never Say Never, Brewmeister Smith in Strange Brew. I know, Strange Brew, cult classic. Love that movie. Dr. Liet Kynes in Dune. Another just absolutely fantastic film, one of my all-time favorites. He was also the voice of Vigo in Ghostbusters 2, which, until I started looking up the research, I did not know that. I should have, because he has one of those voices that the second you hear it, you know who it is. But for some reason, I never put those two together. And when I was reading that today, I was just like, oh, no way. No wonder I liked that character so much. A lot of people didn't like the second Ghostbusters very much, but I did. It's Ghostbusters. Of course I'm going to like it. And, and I liked the bad guy. I liked that character in that movie. So that was kind of a surprise for me today. I've never really gone through and looked at his filmography before. I just know he's been in a lot of stuff, very famous stuff. He played Sigmund Freud in the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. He was Judge Fargo in the first Judge Dredd, not the most recent one. He was the tracker in What Dreams May Come. He was Lorsan Tekka in The Force Awakens. He was also the priest. I don't remember the priest's name, but he was one of the priests, the main priest, I believe, in the original Exorcist. So I just wanted to talk to you guys for a minute, because we're losing a lot of these great actors now. I wanted this to both be a somber occasion and a fun occasion, kind of like a wake. Because although it's tragic that we've lost him, it is also fantastic that we'll have him forever. I first heard this news this morning when I was listening to Stone Loki's Mornings of Mischief, which I listen to every morning. Even if I don't comment, I'm usually in there watching because I love Loki's channel. He does a really good job. If you have not subscribed to Loki and his Mornings of Mischief, which happen at 8 a.m. Central Time, I believe. It's 7 o'clock my time, so it's got to be 8 o'clock Central Time. He's fantastic, and he does a great job. And one of the people on there this morning broke that news, and it suddenly changed the dynamic of that live stream. And we all started kind of talking about Max and the things we remembered Max in. And it just... and that's the great thing about Loki's channel, is that he's never so locked into a subject that you can't stray from the original topic if something of importance like that comes up. And we all were kind of broadsided by that news this morning. Because Max was that kind of actor that, like I said, he brought that amazing skill. He made you believe he was who he was portraying himself to be. Which in Hollywood today, that's kind of a dying art. Far too many people just act as though they're themselves with a different character name. And they don't have that skill. They don't have that talent to be able to change who they are fundamentally to become someone else for the period of that movie. And Max was fantastic as that. He was, Ming the Merciless in Flash Gordon, and I remember going and seeing that movie in the theater with my family, and freaked me out. The scene where they pick up the guy and they throw him on the spinning table and the spikes jab through him and his eyes like, come out. Yeah, a little kid, I was like, whoa! But I also loved that movie, and I remember that movie vividly. And, and he's a huge part of what makes that movie work. And yeah, we were talking about it this morning. It is cheesy, and it does have those major cheese moments, but it also has that element of innocence and fun that too many films today are lacking. Had a great cast. Dune was the same way. Fantastic cast. And although his part as Dr. Liet Kynes is relatively small, it is still so memorable. He's just that kind of an actor. He's just that kind of a man. And he was kind of, I was looking up quotes that he was kind of famous for. And he said, I always wanted to be known as that guy that when somebody met me, they thought, there's got to be more to this man. And he always wanted to leave people in that feeling of mystery. And it's just, and I love that. I love the fact that, he's one of the very few Swedish actors that ever really received big name recognition. And one of the very few, if not the only one, to ever receive an Oscar nomination. He is just the epitome of a great actor. Someone who brings it every single time he went to a movie. No matter what movie it was, he brought it. Now, he did way more movies than this. He directed one of his own movies. But these are the ones I remember him for. These are the ones that really stick out to me and are personal favorites of mine. I will miss this man in film. Really, for me, the scene of him in The Force Awakens, where he plays Lor San Tekka, was probably the best part in that whole movie because of him. And it was very short, and he gets killed within the first few minutes of the film. But God, he's just... I just think of that line, when he's like, "You've gotten old," and Max or Lore just looks at him and goes, "Something far worse has happened to you." And I mean, I can't even say it the way he says it, but you feel that line, and that's what he could do. He was amazing, and we will miss him. I mean, I will miss him. And I just wanted to pay a special tribute to this man who brought so many great parts into our lives. And and to give everybody else the chance to comment on this and to tell me what your favorite Max von Sydow part was, what movie you liked him best in. I mean, he was in a movie that my brother got me to watch called 3 Days to the Condor. I'm sad that we're starting to lose so many of these greats. I mean, and it happens more and more every year that, you're going along through your life and suddenly there's just this sucker punch that comes out of nowhere that you're just like, no, he can't die. I mean, because you just get that feeling you're never going to get to see that guy in anything again. And that's the tragedy of death. But like I say, the fact that we will have him forever through his films is also a tremendous blessing for each and every one of us. I encourage you to go out and watch Flash Gordon, watch Dune, watch a movie with him in it, and just remember the man. Remember what made him great, because that's the kind of people we need to support in acting. Those are the kind of people we need to become actors. Those people who know how to do their craft, who are masters of their own ability and bring that every time they come into a movie. Thank you for watching this. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And as I said, pay tribute to Max von Sydow today. Heaven knows that he earned it. So thank you for watching. Hail and farewell, my brother. We will see you again on the other side. And to everyone else, we will see you next time.